Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the bitter end here. So the final scenario for the Slave Revolt list in the upcoming revised version of SPQR. So as you might guess from the title, this is probably not going to be an easy battle for the Slave Revolt player, if not dang near impossible. So as you can kind of see from the deployment zone, hopefully. So the enemy player is the attacker, while the Slave Revolt player is the defender. The Slave Revolt player may only use models from his warband that add up to half the drachma value of the attacker's warband, leaving the rest safely out of the way. Neither warband may use mercenaries of any type. So basically, like I said, this is an uphill battle, and really not one that you realistically have a hope of winning. But hey, if you manage it, awesome bragging rights here. So if you're looking for a challenge and you think you're really, really good, try playing with half as many points as your opponent here. So the attacking player here deploys all his models. The Slave Revolt player then deploys all their models. So, and as you can see, the attacking player has literally 3/4 of the board to deploy in. So really, if you want to make it tough for the slaves, depending on what forces you are bringing, just line up at the edges of your deployment zone and literally box them into their small little corner here. So the attacker will deploy first, so that gives you some information on just how hopeless your situation is as the slave player. And then you have to deploy your half-sized army in that small little area at the back there. But hey, you get the first phase, so kudos. If you do have just infantry, very likely you're not going to be able to make any contact with the enemy there, especially if they have deployed right at the edge. If you do have the odd cavalry unit or two, you might be able to get there with the cavalry rules, and maybe if you do have access to like a horn or something, or some other hero talent that lets you move faster or further. Yeah, pretty hopeless there. Now, if you're the attacker, you might even just deploy a little bit further back, let the slaves come at you and spread out a little bit. And then you can really just, pick and choose your fights. You have twice as many points, so you can really just ideally double up on any of their units. Special rules here: the Slave Revolt player, the units in that army, may be moved off the table on either of the indicated edges. So basically the far edges here. So it's not just a simple, oh, we're going to leave here or here. No. You got a long way to go and somehow survive. So victory conditions. Once ex-slaves have been cornered, there are few good options for them. So the battle continues until all the units in one of the warbands have been destroyed or have left the table. The attacking player will always be the victor, unless somehow the Slave Revolt warband manages to destroy all of the attacking units. So just surviving this battle will feel like victory to the ex-slaves. So that being said, those special rules here are a little bit at odds with the victory conditions. So this is certainly wiping the opponent out. So getting your units off the indicated edges doesn't really seem to have a point. You're already shorthanded, and you're now making yourself more shorthanded. So I feel like that's something that probably could be tweaked here, where something plays off the victory conditions here. Maybe victory points awarded for however many units you do get off the board, added to the overall like casualty total or something like that. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, as the Slave Revolt player, if you're trying to win, you have to destroy the enemy. So it's already a tall order to destroy an army twice. It's twice your size. So yeah, it doesn't really seem like you would want to make the trek all the way to the other edge of the board. So that being said, the Slave Revolt player, of course, could have a few nasty surprises, even with half the points. Again, units of gladiators are going to be really badass, and certainly can hold their own, even if they're only at their max size is like 10, I think. Maybe if they have like a hero or two or something in there where they can be pretty dang formidable, yeah, they can start chopping into enemy units. And if they keep bumping up the morale or things like that, or if your heroes have talents that give you rerolls on like your break test or something like that, yeah, that could be doable. So certainly here, hopefully there's some terrain in the way too, just that you have a little bit of ways of limiting the avenues that the attacker can get to you. So just, terrain will play a factor here, certainly. So certainly shouldn't just be a flat board. That is pretty damn near hopeless for the slave player. But this could be a pretty interesting scenario, and again, great bragging rights. And certainly, somebody needs to go back to the drawing board there if you're the attacker and you lose this mission. So, but really fun, great test on both sides here. So great way to wrap up things and very characterful for the slaves too. So really great faction overall. I'm glad that Warlord decided to introduce us to this. Before the actual revised edition comes out and gives us a fun little faction to play and collect. And one that we had mentioned, was one of in our top 10 of lists that really should be in the game. An older video that we had put out a couple months ago. So definitely worth checking out that one just to see if we might get any of those down the road, or revisit and leave us a comment and let us know what you think, what other factions you think should be in the game. So anyway, drop us a comment on this one, guys. What do you think about this scenario on either side of it? Have you played it already? What were your results? And in the meantime, also leave us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do want to support the channel even more, check out the link in the description there. Head over to Warlord. Anything you guys pick up does help support the channel there. So appreciate you guys that do that. Take care, and we'll have more SPQR coverage for you guys soon as we get closer to the revised edition.